Hey Chook. Hey girls. Hi. Hi Lilac. G'day everybody and welcome back to My Aussie Garden and Kitchen. If it's your first time here, my name's Darren, but you can call me Daz. I've had a couple of people ask me how the garden's going in the last couple of days. So yeah, I thought I'd walk around and do a bit of an update. So here's the update. I don't know if you can see the girls there behind the pole, but they love hanging out under the trees down the back here in the shade. Hey Rosie. Hi Rosie. Rosie. Chook, chook, chook. Chook, chook, chook. Hey Lilac. Hey Chook. Hey girls. Hi. Hi Lilac. You good girl. Hi Lilac. Hey Chook. Good girl Lilac. Hi Lilac. Say hi. And Arakani, she's up the back there. She's a bit shy. She always hides. Arakani. That's Rosie. Hi Rosie. Hi Rosie. And this is Chook. Chook the Chook. Hey Chook. I'm not sure how well you can see there with the sun at the moment. It's quite bright, but this garden bed is coming along quite well. I've got dwarf beans at the back there and sugar snap peas as well to grow up the wire. And then in the foreground, in the mulch, I've got broccoli down this end. And then as we go down the garden bed, I've got cauliflower in the ground just here. And then a bit later, if I've got time, I'm going to pop some onions in just in between. So I've got a few spare onion seedlings. No point wasting them, so I'll pop them in between the brassicas, and yeah, they might even deter some of the bugs. I don't know if you're going to be able to see with the light at the moment. The sun's quite bright, but I've planted a whole bunch of onions. I ripped out my red cabbages because they were just doing terribly. And I've cut a couple of spring onions off at the ground and pulled the rest out. So that's one of my garden beds there for my onions. They're a brown Australian onion. These brown onions, the Australian brown onions, store really well. I harvested quite a few last season and they stayed in our food store for a good 3 to 4 months until we just ran out. So this year I've planted a few more extra in another bed. That's my Savoy cabbage at the end of the bed there. And this is the carnage, what's left of the red onions and the spring onions that I pulled out. I just let the girls go for it, so the chooks got in there and they had a good old peck and scratch and feed, and that's all going to get chopped up and put into the compost. It's really hard to see with the cover and the light, but this bed here's got my other batch of onions planted on the left hand side and my garlic on the right hand side, which I'll just try and lift the cover now. There you go, that's a bit better. So the garlic's doing well, and the onions only went in yesterday. Over the back here you can see my Savoy cabbages, and there's some carrots down the end there as well. I'm about to plant a whole bunch of potatoes in containers. These are a few that I've got going at the moment that I've just randomly put together. And there's a couple of different varieties there, and I honestly couldn't tell you what varieties they are. You can see there that these leaves on this one look a little different to the ones on this one. So yeah, another couple of months and I'll get a bit of a surprise. It'll be fun digging those up and turning them out and seeing what they are. As you can see, the raspberries aren't doing too bad at all. I'm still picking them daily and eating them. So that's my heritage raspberries in the foreground there, the ones with the fruit. They're an autumn fall bearing raspberry. And over the back here, is Summer Delight, and they're not going to fruit at all until next summer, but they're looking pretty good. And then on this bed here, I've got more Summer Delight. I'll just move out of the sun. More Summer Delight growing here in this bed. And then to the left of them, I have Autumn Bliss, and they're another autumn bearing raspberry, so you can see some fruit there. And I have the other bed going over here, and they're all summer bearing, those ones there. But it's great having both autumn and summer bearing raspberries together, because you're pretty much guaranteed a crop for a good 6 months of the year, and you just can't get enough raspberries. Thank you very much. Delicious. This is my lasagna bed, which was a fail this season. I didn't make it deep enough, so I'll adjust that this season with some new compost and get that going. Watermelons did terribly, but now we're getting towards the end of the season and they've decided to start growing. Little watermelons. They're not going to make it though. They're heading into winter. I need to go turn the compost. So we'll go down here. Hey Lilac. What you doing, Lilac? She's my favourite. All right, so the compost needs turning. I forgot to bring my thermometer down, so I'm not going to check the temperature today, but that's warm. So I'll just give it a good mix. Oh, it's a bit dry. Oh, there's some heat coming out of it though. Oh, there's a lot of heat coming out. It's very hot. I don't have any water on me at the moment, so I'll come back and water this down. So I've got a whole bunch of compost under that. I've done it in layers. So I had to dig down yesterday, and the layers down the bottom are pretty dark and rich and probably ready to go, but I'm just going to keep on building on top of it. And yeah, probably in my spring, in a couple of seasons time, that's going out onto the garden beds. That lasagna bed needs topping up, so I'll probably use some of this stuff too, which is good. Only 2 of the girls are laying, so we'll have a look and see if there's anything today. Oh, there you go. There's one cackleberry. That's something. Hey, Lilac, is that yours? Don't think it's yours, Lilac. Don't think she's laying at the moment. It's another job. I need to clean out the chook pen. It's well and truly overdue. There's the girls' sleeping quarters down the back there. And that needs a good clean out, and that'll all go into the compost. So my large macadamia is doing okay in the grow bag here. Pretty happy with it. It's got a bit of a lean on it, but I shall straighten that out with a bit of a stake system happening. And my Maya lemon is doing okay. It's a, I don't know if you want to call it a spelliade. I tried, but that was my first time trying it, and it was a tree that I rescued, so I'm giving it a go. It's probably a bit hard to see with this light at the moment. The sun's quite bright as it's low in the sky, and the mulberries are hanging over a little bit. But yeah, I do have some lemons growing, and there's some flowers happening all over the place. So I'm pretty happy with it. It seems to like the spot there. These are my dwarf mulberries in pots along here, and they're really due for a trim. But I'll wait till winter, and when they go dormant in winter, I'm going to cut these guys right back. It's recommended to only cut plants back no more than 1/3, but the mulberries are pretty hardy, and as you can see, this one in the foreground here, it really needs a good haircut. It's just gone out of control on the right hand side. Still giving fruit, which is good, In fact, this one over here, there we go, there's some fruit there. In fact, I can see in the back there, there's a juicy fresh one. There we go, there's more mulberries. Okay, let's actually there we go, there's a fresh mulberry. And I'll do the right thing and eat it straight away. Oh my. Oh yeah, okay, that was really good. My little passion fruit is doing well. It gave me quite a bit of fruit last season. I think I got about maybe 30 passion fruit off it last season. And I can just see now there's a flower just forming right there down the bottom. This doesn't like the frost, and we've got some frosts coming up now, so I shall be putting a cover over it at night time when I see the frosts in the forecast. This is my other mulberry. I'm not sure what variety this is, but it's doing okay. And again, that will get a trim in winter. And you can see it's still got a little bit of fruit, still fruiting. These ones are slightly smaller, the berries on this one. Still delicious though. You will not see me knocking them back. I've got myself a volunteer tomato. Look at that. Hiding there in the base of the mulberry. It's got a couple of little flowers on it, but unfortunately I'm heading towards the end of autumn here. So going into winter, I don't think it's going to do too great. But it's there now. I'll encourage it and maybe try and cover it if there's a frost coming. I don't have much hope for it since we're at the end of autumn, coming up to winter. But it's pretty cool. I shall encourage it to do its thing while it's there anyway and see what happens. Not much going on in the orchard. It's nice and shady here. The sun's low behind the bush trees behind me. Apples are ready to pick now, so I'm probably going to be making some apple pie filling and preserving it, and maybe preserving some apples along the way. The kids are keen to get stuck in and eat a lot of them too. And then over here, we've got the pink ladies. Pink ladies are ready to go as well. Gorgeous apples. Hey girls. So yeah, we'll probably just eat the pink ladies, see how we go. But yeah, not a lot going on in the orchard now that we're in autumn, excuse the pole. So I'd imagine coming up to winter, all the leaves are going to fall off and everything goes dormant, and yeah, it's time for me to get in and trim things back and give everything a good prune. I'm falling a bit behind here with my garden. I really need to get a bunch of things going. You can see here in this container here, that's a Nellie Kelly passion fruit, and that needs to go into that pot there, and then I'm going to put that over in the yard that direction where my water tank is and get that growing. And then this pot here currently has a Hass avocado. That needs to come out of the pot and into a grow bag, because we're towards the end of our autumn here, fall. We're coming up to winter soon, and we are starting to get some frosts, and that's not going to do too well with the frosts out in the open. But my plan is to have it sitting out in the sun as much as I can, and then when I know there's frosts coming, just to bring it in the grow pot and put it under cover. So that's a couple of jobs I've got that really need to be doing. The chilies are looking good. You can see we've got the mass planted ones where I planted three in each container. They're growing really well at the top there. And then these individual ones down here aren't doing, well, no, they're doing okay because they've got fruit on them and they're colouring, but the leaves are looking just a bit pale. And then, yeah, I've got various other things on the go. And as you can see, my curry plant is doing quite, whoops, just tripped over myself. My curry plant is doing quite well in this spot here. So I'm going to leave that there in the sun and see how it goes. And then as we get to winter, I'll probably put that in the greenhouse. I think it's probably the best place to keep it warm because I guess a curry plant comes from Southeast Asia. And I don't think they'd get too many cold winters like I do. So in the greenhouse it goes. More of my chilies up the top there, looking pretty well. I still need to get these figs into pots, into the ground. And I've got more chilies there. I've got a bit of seed here from the chooks, which they're not eating. So I've laid them out with some water and I'm going to try to sprout them and see if they'll eat them as sprouts. See how we go there. And then strawberries are coming on well. I've got runners happening. You can see in the smaller pots over here, I've got runners happening and more strawberry transplants going on over here. These are strawberries in other pots here. They're not doing too well. They're really struggling with a bit of transplant shock. And I've got other bits and pieces going off to the side over here with, where are we? Over here in the bad light. Sorry about that, my shadow. Various seedlings happening, mainly brassicas. I've got some more year-round lettuce growing in the 2 grow bags here. Hoping they'll do okay. They're in the shade at the moment, but they get the sun most of the day. So hopefully they'll pick up and, yeah, do well. So there you have it. That's a little tour of My Aussie Garden, the garden part of My Aussie Garden and kitchen. And I just want to say thanks to the people that actually asked me to do a video on an update of the garden, because it was pretty cool knowing that other people actually wanted to see what was going on. So thanks very much for that. I am a small channel, and I'm trying to build. So I would appreciate that you would consider subscribing, hitting the like button, hitting the bell icon for the notifications of when I do new videos. I do have a bunch of videos coming up actually, so there is stuff coming soon. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching this video and hopefully some of the others. Do come back soon and I shall see you next time. Thanks guys.